on.
Oh, it flickered for a bit.
Like this wire's just loose.
There you go. Yay!
Hopefully that focuses. There we go. Okay. Hello everyone and welcome to the NYC Derailed Live. Tonight we're going to be running some of our general trains and just kind of chatting a little bit about the York Train Show. We went to it yesterday, Saturday the 22nd. And we'll just be chatting about how we experienced the show and show off some finds we got from there. So, just to kick things off, right in the view there at the train station, you can see in the background those dark New York Central trains. Those are kind of like a dark military green New York Central Rivarossi set. We got two of those pretty cheap at the train show, and we thought it looked great with our Vanderbilt Hudson for Broadway Limited. Definitely has an old-timey feel, so we paired those two together. We'll get that rolling off in the background, and then in the front view you'll see some Southern Pacific Daylight passenger cars. The two in the front are Athearn, and the following two are an articulated pair for Broadway Limited. And then on the end we have a mismatched Hiawatha N car just to end the train off. And we'll be having our Milwaukee Railroad Hiawatha Rivarossi steam engine pulling them. This is not a typical way you would run this set. But we wanted to show them off, and the colors kind of match, so it works in a way. We're trying to build up our train set, our Southern Pacific Daylight train set for anticipation for the Broadway Limited release. In June, we're hoping to get the Daylight it's GS4, right?
GS4, yep.
Yeah, so. Alright, so we'll get the Broadway Limited Vanderbilt on its way, and then you'll be able to see all the passenger cars for the Daylight soon after. And today we're going to have our station module on view, and then we'll also have our, what I call our warehouse section on view, so you can see trains kind of coming around the bend every so often. So we'll switch back and forth between the two. Alright, so why don't we look at the Daylight passenger car. So again, the two in the front you see right there in the current frame are Athearn. They have really nice little kind of rubber diaphragms on them. And you'll see the next two after that is the Broadway Limited articulated pair, which is really, really cool. So there goes the two Athearn. And then now we see those two Broadway Limited coaches that are articulated. You can see the little section there in the middle. And then at the end we have our Hiawatha N car. We're going higher. don't slide it. Oh, we didn't make it far. Oh, it's this.
What?
It's this switch. You have to wait for the power to come back on. There we go. Switching this gets us. Oh, you're charge controlling now. That's what I'm doing, so it really is beautiful.
It is.
There we go. I think we've got to keep it up at speed. Well, that's good. So we went to the York Train Show in York, Pennsylvania for the first time. We were really excited to see other kind of influencers go there. We left from New York City, so it was about a 3.5-hour drive. Got that pretty quickly, and to our surprise, it wasn't really packed, which was nice because we've had some other train shows we got to where there was big lines to get in, and it was really, really crowded inside. So this was a nice open space. Not super crowded. There's a lot of cool stuff there. It was definitely, at least we were in the Orange Building. It was definitely mainly like O-Scale, Lionel, and then American Flyer, which was really cool to see. I'm always fascinated by those models, especially some of the older antique ones. But they did have a good amount of EJO scale, so we found a few gems there. A few Rivarossi, and as you guys know, if you watch, we love Rivarossi coaches. We've got a bunch of them. So we got those two New York Central Rivarossi coaches. And then we've got our first Athearn coaches, which are the two Southern Civic Daylights. And the Broadway Limited we've been eyeing for a while. They are available online, but we saw it at the show and decided to grab it. So that's a really, really cool articulated model.
This is This is our first set of Broadway limited passenger coaches.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's our first for Athearn passenger coaches and our first for Broadway Limited. That's running better now. Some of those are a little squeaky. I don't know if it's the Broadway Limiteds or the Waters.
They just need to run in a little bit.
So we'll switch views here so you guys can see the other view. So that's our warehouse that we're building out this section. Still got a lot of work to do over here. We just kind of built up some kind of hills to try to break up the scenery a bit. So we're going to add some grass, rocks, and some trees to kind of break up the scenery and make it look like when the train's coming around the back of the warehouse, it's coming from a faraway distance. And there comes our Hiawatha with the Southern Daylight passenger set. And it stopped. So we've got to keep alive in this guy, but sometimes it runs great and sometimes it runs not so great, so I don't know if it's really prone to getting dirty. One thing about the Rivarossi is they spread their connection. Basically the tender has one pole connected to it, and the engine has another pole connected to it. So it's great in terms of having spread connectivity from like a big engine, but the one issue is if the tender for some reason goes over like a long point that doesn't have a electrofrog or something, it can lose power because it basically has no connection to the one pole. So definitely would be an improvement if both the tender and locomotive connected to both poles of the layout. But it gets by. Switch back to the station module. We've got our Broadway Limited Vanderbilt pulling in. Alright, well let's keep running around. I'm going to get our next kind of reveal ready to show you guys.
You know, I was a little concerned about having articulated cars, seeing how they would run on a tight radius.
Yeah, they've actually running pretty good. I think those are, what did we say? They're rated for 22,
22-inch curves.
which is what we have, so that's good. And then yeah, so they run pretty well. I guess the people have been doing its job tonight.
You know, one of my favorite finds from the York show was actually these articulated cars.
Yeah, I mean they were really nice. I mean they're available online, but it's still really nice to find something like that to show and be able to support somebody locally.
Also, it's a little bit aspirational. I really want to get my hands on Southern Pacific Daylight. I know Broadway Limited had made one back when they were on Paragon 2.
Yeah.
Bachman has a few for pre-order on Train World, and MTH is gone, so those are a bit of a treasure to find. So when Broadway Limited announced that they were going to release one in June, I believe, I got super excited, and I wanted to run into the pre-order section.
Yeah, that Daylight's probably going to be a really, really nice engine.
Although, I don't know if eBay sellers are going a little overboard. We got the articulated cars at such a good deal, and seeing a lot of the other accessory passenger cars at $200, $300 plus, it kind of took me aback a little.
Yeah, eBay is a crazy place right now for model trains. I think people are going really high on prices. I'm not sure they should be. So, you know, I get that some things are on production anymore and might be considered more collectible, but still, there's some prices that are kind of outrageous.
I mean, I love a passenger car. I love a steam engine, but I do not think we should be paying $250 to $300 on a passenger car for a single one at least.
Agreed.
So hopefully there's another company out there that'll make some more of these corrugated Southern Pacific Daylight cars.
Yeah, because I think right now it's MTH, for the articulated ones, it's MTH and Broadway Limited.
Which are also rare, you know. You're lucky if you can find a set of 6 for about $700.
I don't know why that pops over there. It was doing pretty well earlier.
I continue to kick myself in the foot for not getting a Daylight back when prices were a little lower about 2 or 3 years ago, pre-pandemic. It was absolute torture walking into the York train show and seeing at least 12 different Southern Pacific Daylight models in different scales.
Yeah, there were so many. So many. And we were at the Edison train show a few weeks ago, and there was nothing.
Not a single Daylight.
So we're leaving the Vanderbilt Park there in the middle track of the station for now while we get our other find ready. You may be able to hear it starting up. Yeah, I think that switch, it wasn't like that switch over there. Oh, you gotta do around that. Alright, so we're going to let the Daylight pass by, and then we'll get our other train out on the main line.
I'll probably walk that pass by.
Yeah, sorry, Daylight passenger cars.
I think those military green passenger cars were such a great find for the Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they match really well. Alright, so we're going to get our next reveal on the main line here. We're going to switch over to the warehouse view. Hopefully it behaves. Oops. Alright, so you can kind of see in the bottom right corner there already. And you'll see it when we have it come around the station in a minute.
Here it comes.
Sorry, folks, we're having a lot of difficulties tonight. A lot of derailments. Man, usually these don't give me this much trouble. Was the point not set this way? No, it's correct. Huh, that's good. They usually don't give me trouble like that. Okay. Alright, well now you should be able to see it. So, we picked up this MTH from 2010, 4,500 horsepower gas turbine Pacific engine. I saw one of these actually at the Amherst train show a few months ago, and it was a Lionel model. Almost got it, decided to wait. And then saw this at the train show from MTH, and decided to grab it. So, it's a cool engine, I like it. The MTH one did not come with a tender, so that's something I want to grab to pair along with it. So we've got it just pulling some intermodal chassis right now. One of the coolest things about it is this is our first diesel that has any smoke effect. So you can see how much smoke that's shooting up above it. It's got these 4 vents and it's got a fan-driven smoke unit, and you can really see how much smoke that throws off, and it gives a really, really realistic look to it.
That is really cool.
There's the horn and the bell. It also has operational couplers, which is something I've never had on a model. I know a lot of the like O-Scale or Lionel and MTH and O-Scale have that. I don't know if they work. I've tried using them and I have been unsuccessful. But basically, I believe you're supposed to be able to remotely disconnect either the front or rear coupler, which is an awesome technology. I don't know if it actually still works. This model's 13 years old, so, but that's a cool feature to have nonetheless. But had to do a bit of work on it. If anybody follows us on Instagram, you'll see I posted a video. I actually had to 3D print some replacement drive shaft gears for it. Had some trouble with that, but got it going in a state where it moves at least. You'll see it jerks around a little bit. It's not perfect, but I got it in a state where it moved. Basically, 3 out of the 4 drive shaft gears were cracked in half and it split. So it basically would not move at all. There was one spinning wheel, and with this big of an engine, one spinning drive shaft is not going to do anything. So.
And do we have a whistle sound for this one?
Just horn.
Oh.
So you'll see it jerks. I'm hoping to get the smooth speed working a little bit better, but once it gets going, it's fine, but it jerks around a little bit at slower speeds. So, love this model. I'm not afraid to repair things, but this was kind of a lesson for us in possibility of getting ripped off at a train show. I'm not going to say that the seller intentionally did anything and sold it to us knowing there was issues with it. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. I caught him as he was leaving, so I did not demand a test or anything. He did say that he had tested it and it was running. How long ago he had tested it running, I don't know. But when we got home right away, he told us something wrong. It basically moved a little bit, jerk, and then bind up. And you want to be careful when that happens. You don't want to burn out your motors or anything. My hope was that maybe if it had sat for a while, it was some dried up grease. But unfortunately, I opened up the bottom and I saw those split drive shaft gears, which I know is an issue. I haven't attempted to get in contact with MTH, but one thing that was kind of alarming for me at the time was the fact that MTH is no longer making HO scale. I do not know if they're still supporting their products or have parts on order, but I decided it was a simple gear. I was going to 3D print it, and it worked out well so far. Like I said, there's some tweaking to do, but it's moving at least now, and at least I can enjoy it. So I like it, but definitely a lesson. And you know, if you're spending a lot of money on a model, definitely test it one way or another. Ask another vendor if they can run it on their test track if they have one before you purchase it. It's working. It's not meant to go in the trash, but I just spent too much money on something that wasn't working out of the box. So definitely something to pay attention to and something I'm going to learn from. On the track. Go forward. I'm gonna have to get in there. Sorry, folks, more issues with trains getting stuck on apparently invisible things. I have no idea what this is called. Oh, I see what it is. Okay, it should be good to go. One of the details on the underside of the Broadway Limited, I think it's just press fit in plastic and it wasn't just shaken loose and it caused a jam on our track. Those really are beautiful cars though.
Yeah.
What do you think? Should we switch up the engine?
Sure.
Do you want to do passenger cars as well?
Sure. Should we try that Baltimore now? Just.
I'm gonna go with that. I've got the port view on. We'll keep changing this by accident. There we go. So we'll see the gas turbine come around. Please pull it over there and I'll switch them around. You can see it jerk a little bit. I think the gears may be slightly wrong size. Every once in a while it gets like a little bind. So we've just got some work to do on that.
And folks, if you've been following us or watching some of our lives, you can see our warehouse is in progress. We finally have an AC unit. We've got some generators in there, so that'll be filling up pretty soon, adding some nice little scenery. Already got a truck trying to unload there.
Why don't you take the Vanderbilt out while I just flip that switch there. Yep, you're good. So while the Vanderbilt run around, I'm going to switch out another train for the Hiawatha, so stay tuned. Okay. 5344. It's a long address.
That diesel engine is really beautiful. It's a great find.
Yeah, I do really like it despite the troubles with getting it up and running.
It's pretty detailed. It has a nice metal grill and everything.
Yeah, something I forgot to mention. It is a die-cast model, so it's got a full metal body. It's very heavy. I am surprised they only have 2 driving sets on it, so that means the 2 middle trucks are the ones that drive. The other ones are just trailing and leading trucks. It runs okay. I'm not sure how much the pulling power is. I haven't tried to push it since putting those gears in because even the new 3D printed ones tend to snap. So I think that's 3. Let me see it.
Didn't this unit also have 2 motors on it?
It does, yeah. No, they're both 3. I forgot we haven't programmed that one yet. Alright, so here we have coming into view our Chesapeake and Ohio engine. Another Broadway limited model. You can see it's got great smoke effect there. We're going to have a parade of trains here because they're all very close together. You know what? Hold on one second. Stop yours. Switch that switch far away from you. No. I want to put it on this. Because they're driving together. They're both on 3. Can you just put the Chesapeake and Ohio on the programming check for a second? Let's get that programmed so we don't have these two. This one we never programmed to be anything other than address 3. And the new you typically got from the show is obviously 3, so it's causing some issues. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, we're good. So, okay, let's just put it back in the main track so we don't have any other issues. You can go ahead off for the Vanderbilt. Go ahead and do the Vanderbilt. It's got a cool brake effect too when you brake the train.
Yeah.
Alright, and here we've got our Chesapeake and Ohio coming through. Really is a very, very cool engine. Nice streamlined look. We've got it paired with, again, not prototypical, but we've got it paired with our New York Central shiny corrugated passenger cars. We just think it matches great. We have not yet been able to get our hands on the Chesapeake and Ohio passenger cars that should be paired with it. Oh, that thing really throws out smoke.
It does.
There's beams in the middle track. Why don't you take over 49? That's the smoke fluid. Yeah, the smoke fluid gets all over you. The MTH Union Pacific did come with a tube which I imagine is smoke fluid, but I'm a little bit scared because I've heard RBP trains talk about how some people like to get diesel smoke fluid, which is very, very potent, and not everybody is going to like to have that smell. We like to do scented smoke fluid here, so. Pulling our Vanderbilt back onto the center track. Sorry if we haven't talked much tonight, folks. We've had a lot of train derailments and random stuff happening around the layout that you don't see. So if there's ever silence, we're not ignoring anybody or trying to bore you. We are just dealing with some kind of derailment.
Most likely. A lot of behind-the-scenes stuff going on today.
Absolutely. Can you switch that guy back to green? Wonderful. Ooh, it's smoky.
It's definitely a risk to put out some of our new finds from the train show.
Yeah, I mean, I was worried about this UP. It's running okay, but I was rushing this morning to try to get it ready because I really wanted to show it during the stream.
But it was some pretty cool craftsmanship. I was watching you do a lot of the 3D printing, 3D modeling.
Luckily, it was pretty easy. I used Tinkercad just to get some basic gears, and luckily you just do like a gear tooth count and stuff, and it's not too hard to get things up and running. Did a lot of testing. I had some measurements off. I did a resin print, so that only took about 30 minutes, which is really quick. So yeah, it was really fast. It took me about 2 hours to get the repairs done.
You know, it's very reassuring because you think of MTH being gone, and I'm thinking of some of the older trains like River Rossi. Now, I'm not a very technical person myself like you are, but to think that you can model similar parts that may not be easy to find or in stock.
Absolutely. That's a big topic right now. And
yeah.
Railroading is, you know, people are actually really looking forward to the fact that you can potentially just 3D print a repair. So it's definitely nice. Definitely nice.
Yeah, even at the York train show, I was watching a lot of the O-Scale INL American Flyer people dig through bins of parts. They literally had 4 or 5 tables full of bins of replacement parts, and I'm thinking, if someone doesn't know how to 3D print or doesn't have access to a lot of the hobby shops, where are they going to be able to find these replacements?
Exactly, and that's one thing that I always kick myself when we go to the train shows. There's always bins of parts, and at the time I never know what I need. But if you ever are looking for an old part for a model you can't find, make a list when you go to a train show or even a train shop. Sometimes the local hobby shops will have the same thing. They'll have little bags of parts. We have a bag of passenger car trucks that I grabbed. There's all sorts of, there's plastic ones in there, there's die cast ones, and it's always useful to have them. I've been one to accidentally break an old plastic truck when trying to replace the wheels, and sometimes you can super glue it and it will hold, sometimes not. It's always good to have spare parts. So definitely, if you're looking for stuff, don't freak out. See if you can 3D print it. See if you can find a pre-made model you can 3D print if you're into that. Otherwise, have a list and just carry it with you when you go to hobby shops or train shows, because people are now putting out these bins of parts and you can find something you've been looking for.
So don't underestimate the power of inventory.
Right. Oh, that. Remember. No, it's the foot plate between the tender and the...
That little sucker.
Yeah. It might run smoother if you have to go to the inside line where I have the Vanderbilt, of course. Yeah, so we have this issue, I can't remember if we've mentioned this before, but we have this issue with one of our Broadway Limiteds, which we love, but this this foot plate between the engine and the tender on our Chesapeake and Ohio, it just gets jammed in a weird position in one spot in our layout. And we have no other train have this issue with foot plates, and it just gets stuck and makes the whole frame rigid, so then the engine ends up driving off the edge of the tracks because it can't move separately from the tender. Engine runs great. Other than that, it's just a weird quirk, and we're not really quite sure what to do. I don't know if there's a little bit of separation in our tender that we need to close up or anything like that, but other than that, it runs phenomenal. But it's a little just kind of an annoyance we have with it. Man, between the Chesapeake and Ohio and the Union Pacific, we are throwing a lot of smoke into the room. I don't know why that smoke unit is so much stronger than the Vanderbilt.
Maybe they did it intentionally because it's a more modern train in comparison to one of the original Streamliners.
Maybe.
Thankfully, we went with a scented smoke fluid. We are smelling Christmas pine, I believe.
Yeah, so if I'm sure anybody running has seen this. They're at train shows, they're at hobby shops. I'll put it in front of the camera. This is not a sponsorship, but let's see, JT's Mega Scene. All sorts of scents. This is Christmas pine we like to use. They have all sorts of scents from anything you can imagine. And it's just a nice way if you're running smoke engines to get a better smelling smoke if you're going to be smelling it the whole time anyway. But definitely recommend it. They're at train shows, they have booths, and they're most likely at your local hobby shop.
I do want to try the Christmas cookie scented one.
Okay. Yeah, and I think they even I was worried about it. So on the same line as people who like to use, and again, not bashing people who like the like real diesel smoke smell and they get the scent for their diesel engines. There was a Big Boy. So when we were buying our Big Boy, the guy who was helping us out actually showed us that there's actually a Big Boy. I don't know what it smells like. There's a Big Boy scented smoke bottle that JT makes, and we were very hesitant because we didn't know what it was going to smell like, and I don't really want. We're in a basement with not great ventilation, and I don't want like some awful toxic smelling like coal smoke plume to be coming out of the Big Boy. So we decided to go with the Christmas pine for now.
Who doesn't like the smell of Christmas?
Right. Or at least pine. No, don't touch it. Shoot, I wonder if one of the gears got chewed through. Oh, okay, here we go, came back to life. So, or not. Come on. So this UP still gets stuck occasionally, and I'm not really sure what causes it. Sometimes just going in reverse, you can see it jerking around and going in reverse a little bit fixes it.
Now, I don't know if you mentioned this earlier, but when we first tried to test this train after the train show, it jerked and barely moved an inch. So to see it run as long as it did during our live here, that's impressive.
Yeah, I have a feeling one of the other gears might have given out. There we go. Yeah, the gears are not a perfect match. I don't think as much as I tried, they're not a perfect match for what broke. So they might have some trouble in certain areas. It seems to be the back corner over there, for whatever reason, has issues. That part does not want to stay straight, does it?
It does not.
We have a side-winding intermodal chassis that every time it goes over the switch, just that one car, for some reason, decides to go off in its own direction. We're going to see our Chesapeake in Ohio coming around the bend behind our warehouse. Good. Front trucks came off. Alright, so we're going to bring our trains back into the station, and then we are going to end our live for tonight. Watch it there. Not as bad as before, but I think it got jammed, that's why it jumped off. We have to figure out what to do about that. Alright, so you see gas turbines coming into the background. And we've got Chesapeake and Ohio coming into the front track.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I do recommend anyone, whatever state you may be in, if there's any flyer for a train show, be sure to check it out. There's so many little treasures you can find out there. I'm sure there are a lot of Facebook groups out there where you can find announcements for local train shows.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've joined a couple of local Facebook groups, and I will just be scrolling and I'll see somebody post a flyer there, and it's a great place to see, especially if you're joining a local group. People will post train shows that are in the area. Could be an hour drive, but generally they're close by, and it's a great way to go meet people, talk about trains, and even find something interesting.
Yeah, I mean, we even drove, 3.5 hours to go to this York train show, and it was a great time, and I think it's a perfect place to find little trinkets for your layouts.
Absolutely. Alright, well, thanks for watching, anybody who's joined live, and anybody who watches the recording. Thank you for watching our video. If you like the video, please like and subscribe so you get announcements for future videos. And apologies for the delays tonight and the silence, but we had a lot of unfortunate derailments. Sometimes we have a smooth session, sometimes we have a lot of derailments. Nothing we can do about it, but we have to go silent for a little while just to get them fixed. So thank you again, and have a good night.